The Hollywood casting couch. 15 celebs describe their encounter.
If you are brand new to our channel, we invite you to take a moment to subscribe. Just click on the lit red button as well as the gray bell. Why the bell? Well, it will let you know every time we post a new video.
9. Phillip. While giving an interview on The Howard Stern Show, Phillip was asked if he ever had any casting couch experiences in his career. He said that he had, explaining, "It happened once early on in my career. He wanted me to come over to his house for a rehearsal. But then I was supposed to take my shirt off for that rehearsal. And that's when I left." When asked how long ago this was, Phillip said that he was 18 or 19, but I looked like I was 13. "Yeah, it was creepy." We wouldn't be surprised to hear more specific details coming out when these stars have retired. Until then, we will have to be suspicious of every big wig in the industry. 10. Susan Sarandon. When the legendary Susan Sarandon was asked if she had ever experienced any casting couch situations, she said that she had, adding, "It was not successful for either of us. I just went into a room, and a guy practically threw me on the desk. It was my early days in New York, and it was really disgusting. It wasn't like I gave it a second thought. It was so badly done." While Sarandon seems to shrug it off easily, this sounds a lot like attempted rape and sexual assault. Most of the stars, like Sarandon, even though they have shown the courage to speak out, still refuse to name names. For most, there seems to be a fear about being too specific, because they're still working in the industry and they don't want to crap where they eat. Or maybe it's because nothing would change. 11. Gwyneth Paltrow. While many of the stars on this list were conscious of what was happening during their experiences, there are advances and pressures being put on these actors, especially young actors, that could be met with acceptance by some. Whether they have a weaker will or maybe they're naive, you never know how someone will react in a situation like this until it happens. Even though Gwyneth Paltrow says she never accepted the invitation she was given, she is certainly empathetic to those who have fallen victim, saying, "When I was just starting out, someone suggested that we finish a meeting in the bedroom. I left. I was pretty shocked. I could see how someone who didn't know better might worry. My career will be ruined if I don't give this guy a blowjob." 12. Cher. Like stars tend to do these days, Cher took to Twitter to tell her personal casting couch story. While brave, the tweets were riddled with grammatical errors, so we apologize for the disastrous language you're about to read. The tweet stated, "Ladies, we are not disposable blow-up dolls or rich man's pleasure. I had scary experience with rich important film prod. And I was Cher. I want a job." Cher clarified the tweet a bit with the follow-up tweet, "It was interview for film. I was young. I left before it got totally uncomfortable. I can take care of myself, but shouldn't have to." Looking beyond the juvenile spelling, Cher shows that not only is it up-and-coming actors who are mistreated, but stars as well. 13. Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson has some weird and disturbing stories. He's brutally honest, something rare for most in the industry, so he doesn't pull any punches when discussing the possibility of casting couches existing, suggesting that not only are they out there, they are everywhere. Every acting business I ever entered into in New York seemed to have a casting couch. I've seen so many people sleep with people they loathe in order to further their ambition. There's another story that tells of a proposition by a female executive to sleep with Harrelson while her husband watched. It's unclear what the end result was, but it's just another example of how the casting couches impacts everyone in the industry. 14. Lisa Rinna. Lately, actress Lisa Rinna has been best known for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but she's been around for a long time. In the early 90s, Rinna got some attention for her role on Days of Our Lives, and became somewhat of a sex symbol. Sometime during this period, Rinna admits that she experienced a scary situation during an audition for a popular TV show. The actress claims, "I lost a role on a big TV series because I wouldn't bend over a chair in a producer's office for just a quickie. Just pull your panties down and bend over and the role is yours," as he said at me. Later on, after Rinna became a bigger star in the industry, appearing on the smash hit Melrose Place, she ran into the greasy producer again, this time threatening him, "I know everyone in this town, and if you ever do what you did to me again to anyone else, I will tell everyone your dirty secret." 15. Jenny McCarthy. When Jenny McCarthy was auditioning for Under Siege 2, she claims that Steven Seagal was doing the auditions himself, and put her in a very awkward situation when it was her time to read. She says, "I was wearing this very baggy dress, which I always wear to auditions, with my hair pulled back. I'm listening to him go on and on about how he found his soul in Asia, and is one with himself, and whatever. When I said, 'Well, I'm ready to read,' he said, 'Stand up. You have to be kind of sexy in the movie, and in the dress, I can't tell.' I stand up and he goes, 'Take off your dress.' I said, 'What?' And he said, 'There's nudity.' I said, 'No, there's not, or I wouldn't be here right now.' He said again, 'There's nudity,' and I said, 'The pages are right in front of me. There's no nudity.' He goes, 'Take off your dress.' I just started crying and said, 'Rent my Playboy video, you asshole,' and ran out to the car. Though Seagal and his people have denied this accusation, it does fit with the narrative about Seagal and the casting couch tradition.